Ciao, ciao, hello, good
Hi,
morning,
everyone.
everyone. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I am so glad to have this new session of the morning coffee with a wonderful panel of MedCruise members, actually. Today, we'll explore the future of port infrastructure with a major question, bigger or better? So we'll try to answer this question with my four esteemed guests. First, Laura Cimaglia. Ciao, Laura. You are Director of the General and International Affairs Division at the Port of Taranto and member of MedCruise Board of Directors in charge of port and city relationships. Jean-François Suhas, President of Marseille Provence Cruise Club. I think he's going to be with us in a...
He's here, yeah.
He's here.
Yeah,
Ciao.
yeah.
Hello. Sorry, I can't see you. Hello, Jean-François. Luz Marina, Espiau Moreno. Hola, Luz Marina. You are
Hola a todos.
Chief Commercial and Marketing Officer at Tenerife Ports. And last but not least, Tomaso Cognolato, CEO and General Manager of Naples Cruise Terminal.
Hi, everyone.
Ciao, Tomaso. Thank you to all of you for accepting my invitation to share your experience and approach of the evolution of our cruise ports. Laura, I will start this morning coffee with you. You kindly prepared some presentation of the Port of Taranto for us. As you are traveling, our dear colleague Cristina Carrieri will share for us. So, hello, Cristina. It is a pleasure to see you and thank you for sharing the presentation of the Port of Taranto.
Hi, everyone. Great to see you. I'm sharing the presentation.
So while Cristina shares, thank you for inviting me. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at the morning coffee, which I adore, as you might know. I just wanted to tell you that when Anne-Marie, first of all, if you hear something in the background, I'm very sorry about it, but I'm in a bar because I'm traveling. And so I wanted to tell you that when Anne-Marie asked me to join with this topic, I told a lot of what I wanted to share. And as we all work in the promotion of our ports, we are always trying to share the best and the glamorous places that we promote as destination. And I thought that maybe also to understand how hard it was the work of the Port of Taranto in these years, I wanted to also to tell you the true story of the Port of Taranto, which is an industrial port at the beginning of its story. And as you can see, I'm sure that Cristina will follow me in this presentation. As you can see, Taranto is the destiny of Taranto. It's basically defined in the early 60s, like in 1965, the biggest steel plant of the Southern Europe was established in Taranto, very, very close to the port and actually very, very close to the city. After that, there was, of course, a growth in the port. We became a container terminal. We became a container port. There was a terminal opened in 2001 by Evergreen Marine Corporation, which is now changed to Ilport company. And then we arrived after 20 years in 2021 when Taranto chose to become a cruise destination, a cruise port. Now, the main players in Taranto, as I mentioned already, are a refinery by Eni, which is one of the biggest companies in Europe, and of course the steel factory. We also have public piers where we operate break bulk, project cargo, wind turbines, and in general vehicles and bulk. And we also have as I said, a container terminal operated by Ilport, which is not doing very well right now due to problems with dredging in the main quay, and also a logistic platform that it's recently being it is under concession right now in this moment. So when in 2021 Taranto received the first cruise ship, there was a switch, let me say. There was a switch because it was a time when in 2018 in the city they started a sort of environmental group started to complain about the pollution in the air due to the steel factory and everything. So both the city and the Port Authority decided that this paradigm should change. So we tried together with the city to boost our city as a cruise destination because it's very beautiful and the territory, the land itself are very unique, and it went well. It wasn't only by chance at the beginning due to the pandemic. MSC, we hosted MSC during the pandemic, and things happens just as a casualty sometimes. So it was a chance, and after, I mean, we have now. If Christina can go on, we have now Global Ports Holding in our port as a cruise terminal operator. Global is investing a lot in Taranto, believes a lot in Taranto as a cruise port, and this season is growing. See, the season is growing. Today we have in 2024 45 calls from 9 different cruise calls, and I would say that this was a turning point, Anne-Marie, for our city, because people started to also adapt, of course, to the tourism from cruise tourism. They started opening new places in the old town, so it is a mechanism. It's still porch
positive one, yes.
Exactly, because they're still very linked to the industrial idea of the town. So they have to work very hard, and we have to educate them on how to change their culture towards the tourists. But I have to say that it's been done a very good job. I haven't done it because, as you all might know, I just
Takes a
entered.
very long time.
Exactly. It is my hometown, so I followed it very much. But it was it was a teamwork of the Port Authority, which I am now proud to call my team. And it was not easy, and it's still not easy, but we are trying to do it. So this is a bit of a story of the Port of Taranto and how we think that it is a big port. That's why my presentation is it's called, how can we grow smaller? Because our destiny now, we believe it's in in energy, and we are trying to transition into this maybe smaller ports as to numbers, because of course, if you lose tons of bulk from the steel factory from ENI, you won't be appearing as the big port. If you think that only 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, Taranto was the third bigger port in Italy. So now the numbers are not looking so good, but we are transitioning into something better and greener.
And we saw that the port of Taranto has strong arguments, as you saw, to grow. And I totally feel you, because I represent the port of Bastia, and as you know, it's the biggest commercial port in Corsica. So I understand the principle of educating not only the communities, the local communities, but also the cruise lines.
Yes.
Once I was told to change the name of the city to make it more commercial in terms of marketing. So I totally feel you, but you have strong arguments to grow in terms of cruise activity. And in this dynamic, Taranto is completely restructuring its waterfront, right? Within a project called Mar Grande.
Yes.
So what does it bring to Taranto in terms of expansion?
Well, actually, I wouldn't talk about expansion because the port itself would be smaller. In the project, in fact, which is very ambitious, and it's now under a process of approval of the authorities. Maybe you can see it from the picture in the center. The white part it's now the port. It's now port area, and this part will be basically released to the town. So
Okay.
it is a common project that we have with the municipality. They will complete the other side, the other part of the project, and we will start from there. So we will basically seed the port back in order to have the town to enter directly into the port. We are now using that area at least once a year for the port days, where
Yes.
it's a European, thing that we do together with Assoporti. And that is the area where the port days and all the activities like such as concerts and visits to the port are taken care of. But once the project is completed, people will really see, and they could walk into the port clearly with all the security facilities in place. And I think, Anne-Marie, that this will be another turning point, because I know that most of you feel the same way. When you work in a port, when you are in a port, PT, the struggle to be a real port city is really, really enormous, especially if you are an industrial port. So what I have experienced myself, being from Taranto, is that at the beginning when I was younger, I didn't even know there was a port. Like I, my house is on the sea and I could see the ships and everything, but I didn't know anything because no one of my family was working there. And it was even harder when I graduated. I started to try to look for work, and it was so difficult. It was a very, very close space, and it was not connecting with the city at all. Now things have changed. We have to say also thank you to a very good municipality in the last years. Our mayor is a port agent. So he's the first one that believes in the ports, community, and also activities. So I think that this project will be really important because people could really walk and see what a port is made of, and maybe they will also understand and feel how the economic value of the port for the city, which is now a bit, unknown.
And as you recalled, the port of Taranto is growing smaller and
Yeah.
greener. So you have multiple undergoing projects to answer this sustainable transition, as we gonna see in your
Yes.
following slides. So that's also part of the evolution of the port.
It is. It is. As you might know, we have received all the Italian ports. Have received from the plan, the recovery plan from Europe funds to establish the cold iron, so short sea connection on the quays, and we are now electrifying some of the quays in our port. A very nice thing that is happening is that because we have the Baleolic, it's called Baleolic. It's an offshore, actually near shore, because it's very close to the quay. It's the first offshore plant in Southern Europe, um, which is producing, of course, clean energy. And we made a pact with Renexia, the company that built it. So we have now, we are basically powering a part of the port electricity with this clean energy, and we plan to enlarge the distribution in the future. So this is something really nice because I believe that cold ironing is it's really clean when the energy comes from a clean place and a clean producing. And then we just started to use a very interesting integrating environmental monitoring system. We are also, we have presented the project to IAPH for an award. It's very interesting because it's in an integrated way, integrated way to it's dedicated to find very interesting characteristic of the soil, the air, and all the sediments. And because in our port, it's also the mussel cultivation is very important. And we also have dolphins and very beautiful species. This thing is very important for us, this project. We are now collecting data, and we probably, the next year, we will present a first set of data which we have collected. And so that's it. Basically, these are the major projects we are undergoing. And but it's very important for the port to be to aim to be better. Going back to our topic, we were already big. We are trying to grow smaller but greener, and so better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura, for sharing all those amazing projects you have in Taranto, and I think it's gonna be a good transition to Jean-François, which is from a big port as well. Jean-François Suhas, good morning.
Good morning.
So you are president of Marseille Provence Cruise Club, so you are one of the main spokespeople for the green transition of the cruise activity in France and beyond. And as I said, you are one of the busiest ports in the Med. You received last year quite 1.5 million of cruise passengers.
No, 2.6. You lose 1 million.
Sorry, I have to.
No problem, no problem. It's a question of million, but it's nothing.
So you are from a very big port, and at the same time, you have affirmed for several years now your engagement towards a more sustainable cruise activity. So my question is, what does it concretely mean today for Marseille?
It's a long story, because of course now we have so much things to do. Just to be back in the history, when I arrived 10 years ago at the head of this association, and I am also the president of the Council of Development of the Marseille Port, we decided to make this transition, environmental transition as a priority for us, you know. But we've started already, for example, with the connection of the ferry was the first in Med, you know, more or less now 8 years ago in 2017, you know. Then we have a lot of knowledge now about this, because of course, for example, what is the main concern now is the disconnection. For me, the iron calling then, because like this you can cut between 20 and 30% of the whole emission of a ship. You know that you have now for a ship is 50%, you know, when you are sailing, well, it depends on the speed. In general, 50% for the hotel, if you want, for the life of the ship. Then this 50% you can cut, you know, the minimum when you are, of course, it depends on the time of the call. You know, afterwards, it's also a question for the local population, but for the owners and for the operators, it's a good way, you know, to be close for all these new rules, you know, the C2E, etc. And of course, this main regulation in Europe to be connected to 2030. And then now we have, you know, two, if you want, two arms. One is called is a blue chart. We signed the first one in 2019. At this moment, there is only third point, you know, parameters. It was to reduce the speed. It was, of course, to use the best, you know, fuel you can, like LNG, etc. And also the third point was to be connected when it will be available. But the last 2 years ago, and we have a new one again, we and you know that it's for all now. It was only Marseille, but now with all the the French made ports. So we have a new rules made by the French government. It's also the same name, Bouchard in Med. And there is 13 points now because we try to address Pelagos area, like, you know, the gray waters, etc., etc. And that means that the operators, when you are negotiating with them, they are able to change the mind and to change operation. Of course, some of them, they do already what we ask. But this 13 points, is 13, it's more than the international rule, European rules or international OME, etc., IMO. And then it is important to negotiate, I think, because of course, when we have more than close than 700 calls for a year now, 640, it's 2.6 million. It's not nothing, considering the environmental aspect, the coordination of everything, etc., etc. Then, of course, when you are big, because I read that bigger and bigger or better. What can I say? If you want to be bigger, you need to be the best, the really best. And the really best means you have also the power as a destination now. When we have a lot of calls, but I remember when I started 10 years ago, it was so different. We have less than 1 million, and it was not the same negotiation with the operators. Now, because they have a long plan with us, they can, accept to have some tactics, for example, for the connection, to have some collaboration. And what can I say now? Of course, is the story of each port, but it's not easier. It's just a question of investment to connect ships because the technology is now it's okay. Of course, there is this kind of converters. It's important. What is sure, as we see even with the next generation of ships, we are speaking every day, every morning about hydrogen, methanol. I don't know why. What else? But that is sure that the future is the big part of the future is this connection. Then you can invest for the next 20 years or 40 years. Is not a matter, to have this big investment. For us, it's 150 millions of euros. It's not nothing, as you imagine. For 3 or 4 berths, it will be for us, only for the cruise terminal, something like 60 million, 65. The other part of the investment is for the other ships, ro-ro ships and ferries and small container in Marseille. But I'm very proud about this because even with LNG, we have less discussion. We have still the discussion for CO2, unfortunately. But for the airs, for the local population, when you use LNG, for example, and now we have 30% of our call in Marseille, and if 25 exactly, but 30 or 35 of our passenger arriving with LNG propulsions is, you have less, the pressure is decreasing with because I heard that the mayor of Taranto is a supporter, and for us is not a supporter. Even the mayor of Marseille maybe our best detractor, every day he's speaking about cruise if he can. And if he's not speaking this one, another one of his team made a manifestation or something like this, then we have to join this line of the future, because when the ships are connected or using the minimum LNG, you don't discuss anymore about the ADLs, about the air, or the particles, etc., etc. And this is the best way, I think, to accept our ships in the port. What I can say, I advise for of course, you need a big volume of passengers because if you don't have this volume, what we call massification, that means something like maybe, I don't know, the minimum you need as number of core passengers, but all the ships will be able to be connected. Is a new also a new business for the port. It's important to have new business. Before it was only the water. I don't know the kind of services we can have. Now, for the future, electricity will be one part of the good business. Then, but of course, you need a minimum. That is the reason. If you are not big, you cannot imagine that you will connect ships if you have only 50 calls or less. You need a minimum calls. Well, it's what I can say.
It's a major investment. So first, yes, you have to be a big port to do such a big investment. But being a better port is not only a question of investment, but also of collaboration. You were talking about the city of Marseille, but beyond that, you are working with all the local communities to better assess the impact of cruising on the regional as a whole. So what can you tell us about creating links between local players? Because I know you are working a lot with also local players of the cruise activity in Marseille.
In our association now is more than 20 years old. Then of course he has a real weight, you know, on the city. We have more than 100 partners now. Of course, all the local institutions. Now you know that the city of Marseille is living our for the last 4 years. But for us, it's not completely. Of course, we prefer to negotiate and to work with them, but they don't want. Then we have to make another thing. But we have all the other one, the region, the metropolis, the department, or the airport. We have all the, you know, of course, the port. But we have also many privates now, the hotels, the buses, all the parties involved, you know, in our market. This is the most important, to have this collective intelligence, you know, because there are so much thing to do. What I can say after 10 years in this model of collaboration is that maybe now the operators realize that they are not, the business is not only a ship. They have to negotiate with the destination, they have to negotiate with the port. They always do that, you know, because they are always, as I say, in our industry, there is 2 markets, but the first one is the what we call a prerequis in French, is to put the ship alongside. You know, this is the, you know, if you don't have the berth, and I think in the future, even the connection, you'll have no ships. That is not necessary to have discussion about the city. But when the ship is alongside, you have new kind of tourists, different than the other one you receive by flight, by buses, or I don't know, the people that are coming in Marseille. Yeah? But Marseille, the chance we have, we are in a metropolis, you know, because when you are, I love the data, you know, because when you are speaking about Dubrovnik or Venice is now 35,000 people living, and they receive more or less 200,000 some days, you know. In Marseille, we have a metropolis of 2 million, a city of 800, 900 inhabitants. And maximum we put on the city sometime 5,000 or 6,000 people. Of course, it's a lot if you keep all these people, for example, in the highlights like our church in the hill or in the old port. But now this is Provence. We are very lucky. It was of course part of our success is that we have a destination is on the metropolis. The people, they go in Cassis, they go in Aix-en-Provence, they go far, of course, 1 hour of car buses, but mainly they go in Marseille. Of course, it's a big concern for us, you know, to find a good way, because we have not so much public system like in Civitavecchia, for example. They are far from Roma, but find solution, you know. We are closer, of course, from the center of the town, but it's difficult because we have no tubes, you know, we have no, are not very efficient like this. But we always find solution because, you know, we are always working with the agent, we are working with the operator to find this small line, you know, to be for that our guests are happy, and of course the Marseille citizens, you know, they are happy also. And this is difficult, but if you have this kind of association like we have in Marseille, we can react. You know, we have always people, you know, connected all together with as I say, with the hotel for the turnaround, with for the transit. Of course, it's different. We have a lot of people, you know, involved. You know, we have you know, now we use small boats, you know, to bring our passenger in the center of the town. But we are always moving. I would tell you that it's more difficult with 2.6 million than 10 years ago, but it's manageable.
And what I retain from your intervention, Jean-François, is that Marseille and all metropolis benefits directly for your innovation and your work, and as it has a positive impact in the rural region. at the end.
And yeah, if I can
Social and
finish,
economic.
just once again with this idea of bigger, of better, or smaller, the problem, it's our business, even if something like 400 millions of euro, 500 now millions of euro for a year, but bigger part is in the port, of course, but there is maybe 30-40% outside the port. Cannot say it's nothing. But of course, when you are in Ajaccio, in Bastia, with a small city, and you put, people, for the economy, you have a very big feeling of that. In Marseille, this is also the problem of all the city now with the port. There is a lot of more activity, even in a port city, and then it's always difficult to give only this economical positive aspect, because there is plenty of people, they don't live with the cruise or do not live with the port, and they don't really realize that is what is economy, because in economy you need about anything. And when you receive cash from the from rain like this, is very important. But that is I think for this economical aspect, it's easier to explain to the people on a small city than on a big city. This is also the difference,
Jean-François, thank you so much for sharing the experience and all your work done in the last 10 years in Marseille. You were talking about data, and I think you need to hear from Luz Marina, which is our next guest. So we are heading towards Atlantic Ocean now. Luz Marina, you are Chief Commercial and Marketing Officer at Tenerife Ports. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here. So a few weeks ago, you told me about Tenerife. We can't go any bigger. So what are the next steps for a port that reach its size limits? We were talking about data and digitalization
Yes.
together.
I think it's the key. It's the key for grow up in the other version. I want to share some slide with you.
Yes, please.
You can see?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, we want to show you in Tenerife ports. We are in the middle of the Atlantic. We are like main connections with so many countries. Right now, we move more than 6.7 million of passengers. That's for 1.2 million of passengers are for cruises line. We manage 6 state ports. We belong to public sector, and 5 of them part of the dock are destined for the cruises lines and cruises, but we have to share with the rest of our cargo, transport, because we are an island, and the port is the important things around the city, around the island, because it is where we have all the supplies and all the things we needed. We have to share the docks, and we have to manage this problem. They came from more than 5 sectors in the same port. This is our main dock for cruises in our main island. In the small one, we only can the capacity of 1 in each time, but in the main one, that is Santa Cruz, we have 1 cruise terminal operating for Carnival, and 2 in the south dock that is operating for our port authority. What happened? What happened to us? We are so deeply. This is the good things, but also this is the bad things. The bad thing for the infrastructure. We can't invest more. For a Spanish poor, we are super expensive if you want to grow up in infrastructure way. And the key that here we have is the digital transition. And this digital transition is focused in the excellence for customer attention. We want to provide them high quality to services and attention to satisfy not only our clients, also our collaborators, our user, and also our locals. For that, we needed to improve in the efficiency in response time. Our commitment is to improve in the time we give and reply all the people that is connected with us, because we are in the era of the Uber, Globo. For example, we are watching the match and we want our hot food in 5 minutes, but we order in 2 minutes. But you have it. In right now, you have this digital transformation that you have your food in 10 minutes in your house with only a app and 3 clicks. It's for that we needed to move to the digital transformation and innovation. For these things in Tenerife Port, we started implanting digital tool to provide this information in 1 click. One of the examples we implanting right now is a dog side facility, because if our clients, user collaboration are important for us, the crew is the most important from the cruises line. The crew is the heart, the brain, and the hands of the cruises. If they have the connected where the families, or they can be connected in the time they are in our port, I see this is the key of the services facility, that if the crew is happy, the client will be happier. The second thing we do is a new schedule viewer in a click in our website. You can see in the real time we connected our system, and you have the capacity of our ports, our docks in 1 click. You can see of they coming for 2 years, and for example, our ship agency one Sunday that we don't work, they can send the information to the cruises line in the 1 click. And the third one is a new digital catalog that you can see all our port. Also, we have the help to our local company where they can announce them, and you can see all the services, we have it also. We are developing in more stuff. We think this is not the end. We have to be like, so we have to show you, if you, for example, you are in Miami, is the time you show you in the real time. For that, we are working on that in interactive and digital manual, not only for visitors. The crew also needed to know the best practice in our dock. All the dock are different. With this interactive catalog and digital, we send to the ship agency, and the ship agency sent to the cruises line, because the crew is important to know all the best practice, also the visitors. The second we are working on that is a CRM system. It's important that you know the track of your client, user, or ship agency. Doesn't mind if the commercial department who is talking, or infrastructure is talking, or direction or presidency is talking. Everybody inside to the port authority have to be connected, and have to in 1 click knows what happened with this client or the history of this client. With this information, this data, how you say, is the key for continue the project, continue the good treatment, continue the good services, and you high the quality. Other thing is be open 24 hours, all days. This is the key point, and we are developing a chatbot that provide information with our own data in our system. It will be maybe next time available in our website, and you can ask to chatbot for any question. If is in our system, the chatbot can reply the client or the user. If not, they send the department this client with this telephone number, this email, want to this information, and we can control inside the CRM system who reply this client, what they say, if it's telephone, if by telephone, if by email, if by WhatsApp, everything will be connected in CRM system. Other thing we are developing is our data analytics. We have the data, but we don't know how to see. It's important to create interactive data board for check the data in 1 click. That is important, and the user have it. It's important that our department have it in 1 click. For example, you are an important meeting with the cruises line. It's important that in 1 click, if the cruises itinerary planning asks you something, or service support manager asks you something, in 1 click you can solve by data, because data is the real. If you have this information in 1 click, you have the power in the meeting. Also thing important is that you can anticipate in wherever change happen. With data, you can see how this change. In 24 hours, you can see if something changed, and you can be anticipate to a problem and make the solution, before that this client connected with the commercial department. And it's one of the key. If you can handle the feedback well, you grow up. Important a conscience that I want to bring to our port is like every feedback, good or bad, is the best, because if
And
not,
needs to be analyzed. Mhm.
the client can to move to the other port. We are
Mhm.
surround other ports, but if you know how to handle the feedback, this is the key of the services. And any feedback is bad or good. All feedback is value. And other thing that we have to is the way we show. Our website is a little old. We need it to transform, and we are working on that. We needed a website with user friendly. We need a website that the people can use with a mobile. It sound like stupid, Luzma. Everybody have this kind. No, everybody don't have. You have to work, and your software system have to work for the your website can move. I can work with a mobile with one hand. And for that, you need to also apply all the mm, worth it information. With this digital transformation, you can use the chatbot correctly. You can use the CRM, and the client, user, or collaborated have the information in one click, and also you have less work and you are more productive because you are not answer the same question to the 100 clients you have in the web, and the client took it from them, and you have time, and your team have time to work in the important thing, to thinking, to provide services, and to be better. We are can be bigger, but
Mhm.
we can better. Last things, we are in the associations. That's super important for us. Cruises Atlantic Island. We connected like 4 different port authority, and now we are working together for more than 30 years. But it's time to be connected in digital way. We need
Mhm.
a website that we connected all of us with our itinerary, our information, our docking requests, our port abilities, because the client only see Macaronesia Islands. The client don't divide between this port and this port and this port.
Mhm.
We are stronger if we are in one. It's time to be in unified platform for Kai, because make easier to the itinerary planning, management planning, to the new cruises line they want to work with us. That we are in the middle of the Atlantic, and we are the Macaronesia Island, and we are connected. All the things I told you right now, for the commercial department, it's time to start to digital marketing. It's the new way to sell. We have to start right now to move in this sector. We have to start to use email marketing campaign. We start to use SEO, search engine optimization, with keywords. Keywords you focus in our ports, the sectors we have, the locals company we have, also the leads. We have to go to this client that need it, not all the clients. We have
Mhm.
to be more productive, and the leads and working around the leads is the best option. Being the event in the sea trail is really good, hand to hand, C to C, but also be online is the key of growth. If you are online, if you grow up in the digital system, maybe one ship cruises that is small, they can go to the sea trail, but
Mhm.
they can see you in the digital platform. And for me, this is the key of our commercial department.
Mhm.
And the last but not least, and other colleagues before they are talking about, is the connection. Community plus private company plus government entity make the reason that we can grow up in services and the quality attention, because we have to collaborate each other. The port is nothing without the city, or the island in my case, and the island is nothing without port. We have to encourage this communication, working, because when I talk with our tourist offices or tourist government, the real case is I not selling the destiny. I selling the facility of the port. The
Mhm.
destiny is yours. We have to be connected, and you have to help
Of
me
course.
when
Mm-mm.
our cruises passenger came, because the cruises passenger is not only for cruise, it's not only for ports. The cruises passenger is for
It's for the
all
full
the
destination.
island. We have to
Mm-mm.
move around all the island. I am visited all the government, municipality government we have here, and I introduce to our cruises passenger, because
Mm.
the center is not mine, is for all the island, all the companies around, all the shop, the restaurants, the transport company. And one important things we are working on that in Tenerife is talking about sustainability. Is important. We have a really good panel inside Aida Cosma, where we invite all our pues, university students, Natuca students, locals, and governments representative. And it was really successful. They learn a lot. We thought that they know things, but no. Our governments are
Um,
white papers, are
that
white papers.
was Laura was talking about. We need to educate
Yes.
the local communities, the local government. It's a long-term work for every port,
Mm.
of course. Mm-mm.
In the end, if we keep all the things that we are talking about, the future's work is in the formula data plus artificial intelligence, CRM plus trust, and trust is the key for the
Of course.
government.
Mm-mm. So you are talking about data digitalization. So modernizing our infrastructure at the end to achieve um, uh, the efficiency and the services quality towards the customers, but also the cruise line. But as we just said, we are also all in green transition, and you have also long-term strategy taken by Tenerife ports, which are the different steps you are taking to achieve this zero emission objective you have in Tenerife, in Tenerife
Is
port, not only in Tenerife
Yeah,
Island,
in Tenerife, no, in the first island we have it. It's
of
important
course.
to create a plan for sustainability. We have Tenerife Port Zero, is our plan for sustainability in our islands. It's important to know that we are green islands. We have to protect our nature, protect our
Mhm.
area, because it's the main reason for our cruises passenger came here.
Of course.
If we don't protect today, we lose tomorrow, and we will lose our work, we will lose our economy sustainability, and it's important to make a plan. My advice for everybody is make a plan, try to connect it everything around your islands, around your area, around your cities. In Tenerife Airport, we have the objective to net zero in 2050, and for
Mhm.
that I will tell you some key points, some tips. We are working on that, but this project is too long. We have OPS in Interinsular. We started with Interinsular because it's the ship that move more inside our dock, and we move so many passengers because we are island, and we help like our Interinsular company to grow up in this area, and right now is the reality. We started for once, and now the seconds just yesterday
Mhm.
was connected with OPS for the first. We are island. We generate our power supply by solar plant, and it's important for us because we are green ports right now. Our buildings, all of us in the fourth
Mhm.
islands, are connected with solar plant, and also we use electric cars. All our platforms are electric, and we have fast chargings for all the for all our cars, and also locals. If they need it for the government cars, they can connect it in our port, and the charging is connected to solar plant. Also, we did the first ship-to-ship LNG supply to the AIDA. We was the first to do this ship-to-ship. We are super happy with this first move Now it's continually in time. Right now it's 2 years. We are doing this with AIDA, and also other companies join us. And I encourage all our colleagues to do it. It was a hard
Mm.
work, but in the end, here are the results, because all the ship companies move to the sustainability ways. And then, but and also we have some key that I will say you now. Sorry.
Mm. First of all, I need to say I am impressed of all you already have achieved in terms of new energies, because I know how difficult it is for an island to have new sources of energies, especially in the Atlantics, because you are very far from
Hard.
mainland. So
See.
I'm really impressed by all you have just presented. And yes, of course, we are talking about sources, new sources of energy. So, of course, the future of maritime industry relies in these renewable energies, and you have you are piloting several projects. You are testing new green sources of energies. Can you show us what are those projects?
Of course, like you say, for the island in the middle Atlantic, we are a little far. It's super
Mm.
difficult. We create Granadilla port, like a greenhouse, a green hub supply. We are developing our port. It's not for a cruises, it's industrial. And one of the we decide to use is for offshore wind, like we can see with our colleague Laura. Also, we
Mhm.
want to use our natural supply for create engine, and we are started a project for offshore wind and use it our waterland for create the infrastructure and be connected with our island, be more green. This project is not only for ports, is connected with all the island. This means we are talking with all the governments, municipality, state government for development this one. Also, that is important is the green hydrogen plant. We are also in Granadilla working in a huge project to create green hydrogen for also investment or industrial for us and for the rest of our island and for the rest of the area, maybe Africa or Latin. We are working because it's really interesting and so many companies are interested on this, also our government. And the last but not least, one plan for synthetic fuel from the plastic way. We know the problem of the plastic around the world, and in Tenerife ports, we want to put the focus in this material because right now it's a rubbish, but in future can be the key of the synthetic fuel. Is for that we make a space for this kind of companies that want to invest, and they give them the opportunity to development in our area, not only for us, also for the rest of our archipelago. And if this going good, maybe copy in other islands and copy in the mainland. Who knows? And this is our project in Granadilla. We are happy with the work we are doing. This project is only 2 years. 2 years ago we created, but it's working so fast. And also we can be the example to the others. Is for me, I want to say thank you to you and Marie for giving me the opportunity to show and to inspire all my colleagues to make this way in sustainability and this way in the digital transformation. Don't be afraid to the digital transformation. Use the digital in your favor. It's the key of everything. If you don't have financial, if you don't have the team to go to the event, if you don't have the capability to move around the world, you have the digital space. And right now is the key of the growth. If you can grow bigger in infrastructure, get bigger in the service attention, get bigger into the websites. Thank you.
Thank, Thank you so much, Luz Marina, sorry, because I'm sure all your presentations and projects gonna be great inspiration for our audience and members. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Tomaso, ciao Napoli. Good morning.
Hello everyone, ciao Marie.
Ciao, good morning, Tomaso. As I said in the introduction, you are CEO and general manager of the Naples Cruise Terminal. And whilst we are talking, we're gonna show a beautiful video from Naples, so we can travel a little bit in south of Italy, in beautiful south of Italy. And I would have a first question for you, Tomaso. So we are talking about infrastructure upgrades. How Naples adapt itself to the evolution of the cruise fleet?
Well, it's a good question. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Thank you to everyone to listen to me. First of all, I have to say that as a terminal, as a cruise terminal, we are like unique of a kind, sort of one of a kind of terminal, because inside our terminal there is not only cruise terminal, the typical cruise terminal operations, but we are also managing many other activities, such as the biggest congress center in the city of Naples. We have a shopping center with more than 50 shops. We have an hotel inside with 255 beds. We have some real estate offices, and then we host, obviously, all the institutions such as border police, customs, and whatever. But we must be also thankful to the generations that projected the terminal. Our building is on 1936. It was by that time was saying that the terminal was the port of the Italian Empire before the Second World War. And by that time, they projected the terminal, not obviously for cruise, but for ships that had to connect Italy to the northern part of Africa. And they built a very big building with very big piers that are able nowadays to accept all the kind of vessels and all the kind of new cruise ships. The problem that we have is that fortunately, the answer of calling in Naples is increasing year by year, and so we are not able to satisfy all the requests that we have. So we are planning to increase our capability with building a new pier, a new extension pier to accept, let me say, not the new vessels due to the dimensions, but due to the number of calls. We have had a very strong growth, because we passed from 1,200,000 passengers in 2019 to 1,650,000 passengers last year. This year we should have something like 1,800,000 passengers, and next year we should break the 2 million passengers limit. We are talking about 500 calls per year. Next year, almost 600.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. So it's not a problem of dimensions; it's a problem of
no limitations.
Number of years.
Yeah, but of course, as you said, ships are getting bigger and bigger, and few ports can welcome them. Can welcome the biggest one. So, of course, you have this investment. You were talking about with me when we prepared this interview about acquiring new port spaces. So there is a lot going on in Naples, but as the other guests, you also prioritized an environmental consideration, of course, in your upgrade plan. So what kind of investment have you already planned in this field to make your infrastructure more sustainable?
Yeah, I heard that we usually talk about environmental and sustainability, but for us, the sustainability must be not only on an environmental point of view, but also on an economic point of view and a social point of view.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to find something positive, talking about the pandemic showed us that, and shows also to the Naples citizens, that the cruises industry give them lots of money, lots of work. And so after the pandemic, we do not have any kind of problems with overcrowded tourism, of environmental problems and whatever. They are always there. But fortunately, they recognize that the cruise industry is a pillar of the economy of not only Naples City, but all the region, Campania region. And so we are trying to be very careful when we make our investment. Obviously, the environmental is crucial. We are planning to have by 2026, as Laura told at the beginning of the meeting, the onshore power systems in our all 3 piers. We are planning to put panel solar for having our energy. The main thing we are trying to do is to finalize a project together with the other terminals in the port to create a port community for managing the energy. Not only to provide and creating energy because we do not have enough space, but just to get space for stocking the energy get from the grid, and then to supply for instance for the offshore power system, because the problem is not only to have the offshore power system on the port, in the port, but where is the energy produced and how is it produced? Because if we use the normal central productions, which is made by coal or by bunker, it's not the solution.
Not so green.
Absolutely. So
No,
also because we need lots of energy. In the peak hours, we are over 1 gigawatt of energy for all the ports. So it's not easy to find a solution. And that's what we are doing.
And as you previously said, the cruise activity has a global impact on the whole region of Campania. So beyond port operations, the community engagement is essential for you. So how have you engaged with local communities, maybe especially after the pandemic?
We are very strong relations with the local communities, even though, let me say, the administrations, the public administration, especially in Naples, are not so quick and not so ready to reply to everything, to put in place some mitigation or some new things. But what we are trying to do with them is trying to manage the passengers flows inside the city. Obviously, most of the passengers leaving the cruise ships want to go to Pompeii or to Ercolano because they are the most marquee place close to Naples. Even though I have to say almost half of the people is going to merge inside the Naples center just to find out how is the real life in Naples. So we have many excursions and also free travelers that goes directly to the city. And we are studying a new app for the passengers just to avoid crowded streets, crowded places, and suggest them how to taste the real life of Naples without being in a very crowded area. And we are doing this together with the local administration.
The control of the flow is a major question for many members in MedCruise. I know in Marseille they are working on this as well. So this is one of the solution for big cruise activity. I mean, but you are experiencing also deseasonalization. Is it a way also for a market port to have a more sustainable activity?
Yeah, I think it's one of the ways to have sustainability. Always talking about sustainability about not only environmental but also economic and social. Because usually till 3 years ago, before the pandemic, the cruise season in Naples started by the mid of March and last until the end of October. Since 3 or 4 years ago, we are experiencing more and more cruises calling Naples also in the winter time, between November till the mid of March. and it's a very good options because you can have a longer season. The people in the city can have much more time to work with the cruisers. They have more friends and whatever. So it's a very good option. So I don't think you will ever succeed in avoiding the summer season, the crowded season, because it's quite impossible. But if you succeed in extending the season, you will have very, very good results on a local basis.
This is a global work with local communities, cruise terminals, port communities. So I would like really to thank every one of you. Thank you, Tomaso, to have shown how a big port, a major port like Naples, can also work on being more sustainable and greener and better, because as we said, bigger, better, that's the real question now for most of us. I will open the floor to the audience if some of you have questions for our guests. The floor is yours. Because we had very interesting input from all of our guests. So is anybody else having a question?
Anyway,
if I can add a comment on Marie.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi. Well, first of all, it was excellent. Thank you so much. Lots of information, and very happy to see that things are progressing. My point is the way we manage information. We saw that from Tenerife, but I want just to make a comment about the passengers, how we provide information before the trip, during the trip, and when they come to the port. It's important for us as destinations to manage the level and how we provide the information. I would suggest that we use the characteristics of the destination, which is history, culture, gastronomy, adventures, and connection with the businesses. It can make a difference in terms of the connectivity of the passengers to the local businesses. It can make a difference in the revenues. And this also enhances experience of the passengers. I know this because I did a project in Mykonos last year with my Smart Science, Signature Smart Science project. We increased the revenue in the destination over 100 million last year. And that says it all. When people feel that they have revenue and they have, business are created on destination, they look at cruise business in a different eye, more positive.
Thank you so much, Ioannis, for your contribution. So if anybody else has a question or a comment, I will conclude this morning. So bigger and better. The diversity of our 152 port members fortunately allows us to give more than one answer to this question. And we show it again today through our 4 guests. I thank again truly for their contribution to this question. And boutique ports, market ports, we can address within MedCruise the great variety of cruise lines and cruise ships navigating the Med and adjoining seas. So thank you so much, Laura, Lucinari, Tomaso, and Jean-François, for sharing with us the last development of your ports, but moreover, the amazing perspective of evolution you have. So you have once again proved, if proof were needed, that ports are at the forefront of the maritime industry's ecological transition, working hand in hand with cruise line involved in the construction of environmental friendly ships. So this is the whole community which speaks together. I would also like to thank Anya and Daniela at the Secretariat of MedCruise for their collaboration. And heartfelt thank you to all of you online. I am looking forward to seeing you again in a few days in Tarragona for our General Assembly. Thank you so much. Have a great day and bye-bye.
You want to have a picture before we go? Yeah, let's open the cameras and smile. Jean-François, maybe you can open your camera if you're still...
Jean-François has left. He sent me a message. He had to leave.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so 1, 2, cheese. See you all in Tarragona. We're very excited.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, Tarragona. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.